The Power of Letting Go and Marcus Aurelius Wisdom. Imagine lying in bed as the noise of the day slowly fades. Your mind begins to wander through memories, choices, and the uncertain road ahead. What if, instead of sinking into worry, you could rest within the calm wisdom of ancient philosophy? Philosophy is not only for scholars, it is a guide for everyday life. The teachings of Stoicism and Taoism offer a path to inner peace, teaching us how to release anxiety and move with the natural flow of existence. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that much of our suffering comes from our own perceptions. We cling to outcomes, resist change, and fight against what we cannot control. Stoicism invites us to accept each moment as it is and to let go of what lies beyond our grasp. When we do this, life becomes lighter. Taoism teaches a similar lesson through the idea of flow. Life is like a river. When we struggle against it, we suffer. When we move with it, we find harmony. Letting go does not mean giving up. It means trusting the unfolding of life and acting without force. This is the principle of Wu Wei, effortless action. Another key lesson is embracing imperfection. We are taught to chase flawless lives, yet perfection is an illusion. Our scars and mistakes shape who we are. When we accept imperfection, we release the pressure to be something impossible and discover real peace. Meaning, as the Stoics taught, is not handed to us. We must create it. Purpose lives in small intentional actions, in how we treat others, and in how we face each day. Life is uncertain, but within that uncertainty lies beauty. There's an old Taoist story about a farmer whose horse ran away. The neighbors called it bad luck. The farmer replied, "Maybe." The horse returned with 3 wild horses. "Good luck," they said. "Maybe," he answered again. When his son broke his leg, it seemed terrible, yet that injury saved him from being taken to war. The lesson is simple. We cannot judge events too quickly. Life moves in ways we do not understand. Letting go brings powerful benefits. Mental peace grows when we stop trying to control everything. Relationships improve when we release expectations and accept people as they are. Creativity increases when we drop the fear of failure. And most importantly, we gain personal freedom, the freedom to live authentically. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed." Our peace depends more on our response than on events themselves. He also taught gratitude, waking each day thankful simply to be alive. Adversity, he said, is not the enemy. What stands in the way becomes the way. Challenges shape us when we meet them with courage instead of resistance. Letting go is not weakness, it is wisdom. It is trusting life enough to move with it rather than against it. When we release control, we discover something greater: clarity, balance, and a deeper sense of freedom. So ask yourself, what could you become if you simply let go? Marcus Aurelius taught that obstacles are not barriers but pathways. What stands in the way becomes the way. This idea reminds us that character is shaped not by comfort, but by how we respond to difficulty. Integrity defines a person more than success or possessions. True worth is measured by the values we pursue and the honesty we keep when no one is watching. Reason was central to his philosophy. He warned that everything we hear is an opinion, and everything we see is a perspective. In a world filled with noise and misinformation, clear thinking becomes a moral duty. Discernment protects us from illusion and helps us act with wisdom rather than impulse. Another lesson is equanimity, accepting what life brings without losing inner balance. Peace does not come from controlling events, but from adjusting our response to them. Change is constant, and learning to flow with it strengthens the mind. Inner peace begins with our thoughts. Aurelius believed the soul takes the color of habitual thinking. Gratitude, mindfulness, and self-awareness shape a calmer life. Resilience grows when we treat hardship as training rather than punishment. The obstacle is the way, and every challenge can refine us. Moderation also guides a good life. Happiness is not found in excess, but in balance, and simplicity. Likewise, embracing change frees us from fear. Time moves like a river. Clinging to the past only steals the present. Ego often blinds us. We seek approval from others while ignoring our own judgment. Letting go of ego opens the door to humility and compassion. Purpose, Aurelius said, is discovered in service. What harms the community cannot benefit the individual. Meaning grows when we contribute to something larger than ourselves. The Japanese philosophy of wabi-sabi echoes these ideas. It teaches that beauty lives in imperfection and impermanence. Cracks in pottery, weathered wood, fading memories. These are not flaws, but stories. Accepting this reduces the pressure of perfection and nurtures gratitude for ordinary moments. Modern life pushes constant speed, yet slow living offers another path. Instead of chasing efficiency, it values presence. Simplifying our spaces, our schedules, and our expectations clears the mind. Mindfulness, journaling, and appreciating small details reconnect us with what truly matters. Life is brief. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say. Remembering mortality is not despair. It is motivation to live sincerely, kindly, and awake. Wisdom, then, is practical. It asks us to act with integrity, think clearly, accept change, serve others, and find beauty in the imperfect. When we slow down and release the need for perfection, ordinary days become meaningful. True greatness is not in what we own, but in how we live, calmly, simply, and with an open heart. Modern life moves at an ever-increasing speed. From the moment the alarm sounds, the race begins. We rush from task to task, driven by expectations of productivity and constant connection. Technology, while useful, has blurred the line between work and rest. Emails, notifications, and digital demands follow us everywhere, leaving little space for true pause. Our minds remain active, always processing, rarely resting. This relentless pace has consequences. Around the world, stress, anxiety, and burnout are rising. The human body was not designed for nonstop pressure. Chronic stress contributes to high blood pressure, heart disease, poor sleep, and weakened immunity. Mentally, it fuels depression and exhaustion. In trying to live fuller lives, we have unintentionally compromised our well-being. Burnout, once limited to high-pressure professions, now affects people in every field. It brings extreme fatigue, detachment, and a sense of helplessness, a clear signal that life has become too fast to sustain. In response, a different approach is emerging: slow living. This is not about rejecting ambition or technology, but about rethinking our relationship with time. It asks a simple question: what are we gaining and what are we losing? Slow living draws on ancient wisdom from Stoicism, Taoism, Zen, and other traditions that valued balance and presence over constant activity. These teachings remind us that fulfillment does not come from endless accumulation, but from meaningful engagement with the present moment and appreciation of simple joys. Several principles shape this philosophy. Mindfulness encourages full attention to the present, truly tasting a meal, listening without distraction, noticing the world around us. Through breathing, meditation, and awareness, we create inner stillness even when life remains busy. Simplicity means reducing clutter, physical, mental, and emotional. More possessions and commitments do not guarantee happiness. By letting go of excess, we make room for what truly matters. Quality over quantity invites us to choose fewer but richer experiences, a thoughtful conversation instead of many shallow ones, one meaningful project instead of constant multitasking. Connection emphasizes real relationships with people, nature, and ourselves. Genuine bonds grow through time and presence, not through screens and quick messages. The benefits of this approach are significant. Mentally, slowing down reduces anxiety and brings clarity. Physically, it supports healthier eating, better sleep, and lower stress levels. Relationships deepen when we give others our full attention instead of fragments of time. Yet slow living faces challenges. Modern society rewards speed and constant availability. Many worry that slowing down could threaten careers or income. Critics also note that some aspects of slow living require privilege, time, financial security, or access to nature. These concerns are valid, and the movement must become more inclusive and practical for all. Adopting slow living does not require dramatic change. Small steps matter. Waking a few minutes earlier for quiet, eating one meal without screens, taking a short mindful walk. Even brief pauses can reshape the tone of a day. Digital boundaries, screen-free meals, or evenings help restore focus and calm. Philosophers echo this message. Carl Jung taught that looking inward awakens understanding. Seneca warned that life feels short only because we waste it. Thoreau proved that simplicity reveals what is essential. Their ideas remind us that a good life is measured not by speed, but by depth. Slow living is not an escape from the modern world. It is a wiser way to move through it, intentionally, calmly, and with attention to what truly gives life meaning. Across history, people have searched for a balanced and meaningful life. What we now call slow living has always existed in spirit, a desire for depth, connection, and mindful awareness. Modern life, however, moves at relentless speed. Constant connectivity and endless demands leave many mentally exhausted and physically drained. This pressure has created a longing for a more intentional way of living. Slow living offers that alternative. Inspired by thinkers like Carl Jung, Seneca, and Henry David Thoreau, it teaches that the quality of life depends not on speed, but on how deeply we engage with each moment. Slowing down improves mental health, strengthens relationships, and restores inner calm. Yet it challenges a society that measures worth through productivity. The goal is not escape from the world, but meaningful participation in it. Existentialism adds another dimension to this journey. It asks the oldest questions. Who am I? Why am I here? Philosophers Jean-Paul Sartre and Albert Camus argued that life has no prewritten meaning. Sartre believed that existence precedes essence. We create ourselves through choices and actions. This radical freedom is both empowering and frightening because it makes us fully responsible for our lives. Camus described life as absurd. Humans seek meaning in a silent universe. Instead of despair, he proposed revolt, accepting uncertainty while continuing to live with passion and dignity. Like Sisyphus pushing his stone, we find purpose in the struggle itself. These ideas encourage authenticity, moral responsibility, and the courage to shape our own path. In today's world, these philosophies remain practical. They remind us that careers, relationships, and failures do not define us. Our responses do. Freedom means choosing consciously rather than following expectations. Setbacks become opportunities for growth, not proof of weakness. Another guide to meaningful living comes from Eric from The Art of Loving. From argued that love is not just a feeling, but a skill requiring effort and practice. Real love includes care, responsibility, respect, and knowledge. It begins with self-love, understanding our own worth, before extending to others through empathy and commitment. Digital culture often turns relationships into quick transactions, yet from calls for deeper connection. Mindful listening, patience, and respect for individuality help love grow. Whether in friendship, romance, or community, love is an active choice rather than a passing emotion. Together, slow living, existentialism, and the art of loving point toward the same truth. A good life is created, not found. It grows from attention, honest choices, and meaningful bonds. Slowing down does not mean doing less. It means living more fully. So pause, breathe, and ask yourself, what small step today can bring more presence, freedom, and love into your life? Love has been explored by philosophers and psychologists for centuries, offering insights we can apply to modern life. By understanding these ideas, we can build deeper connections in our personal, professional, and social relationships. Plato saw love, or eros, as more than physical attraction. In a symposium, he describes a journey from loving one body to all bodies, to souls, and ultimately to beauty itself. Love becomes a pursuit of truth, wisdom, and the eternal. Aristotle, on the other hand, focused on philia, or friendship, grounded in mutual respect, shared values, and virtue. True friendship, he argued, values the person for who they are, not for what they offer. Modern psychology builds on these ideas. John Bowlby's attachment theory explains how early experiences with caregivers shape our adult relationships. Secure attachment fosters stable, healthy connections, while anxious or avoidant patterns create challenges. Carl Rogers emphasized unconditional positive regard, accepting and loving someone fully without judgment, a concept closely aligned with Erich Fromm's view of love as care, respect, and responsibility. Friedrich Nietzsche offered a different perspective, seeing love as a form of self-empowerment, a force that drives personal growth rather than self-sacrifice. Fromm himself described love as an art to be cultivated through practice, knowledge, and effort. He highlighted care, responsibility, respect, and knowledge as essential to all forms of love, romantic, self-love, or love for humanity. In today's fast-paced digital world, these principles remain vital for nurturing meaningful relationships. Stoic philosophy adds practical guidance. Seneca, in his letters to Lucilius, emphasizes the value of time, self-reflection, and inner discipline. He reminds us to live purposefully, prepare for adversity, and find joy in wisdom rather than fortune. True peace comes from mastering the mind, not chasing external rewards. Friendship, according to Seneca, flourishes when souls share common values and support one another unconditionally. In essence, love and life are arts to be practiced. Whether through Platonic ideals, Aristotelian friendship, from nurturing love, or Stoic discipline, the message is clear. Growth, understanding, and connection are lifelong pursuits. As Fromm said, love is the only sane and satisfactory answer to the problem of human existence. Have you ever wondered what it truly means to live well? Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, offers timeless guidance that's as relevant today as it was 2,000 years ago. Let's explore his wisdom in just a few minutes. Seneca reminds us that life isn't about chasing wealth or comfort. True strength comes from learning to endure discomfort and understanding poverty, not as punishment, but as practice. By voluntarily facing simplicity, we discover that happiness isn't tied to riches. Even the simplest food can bring satisfaction if our needs are measured and controlled. This is freedom from fortune's whims. Anger, Seneca warns, is destructive. Like fire, its danger depends not on its size, but on the vessel it enters. Left unchecked, it leads to madness. A wise mind avoids this, staying calm, rational, and prepared for life's challenges. He also teaches us to seek joy from within, not from external sources. Pleasure borrowed from outside, wealth, popularity, indulgence, is fleeting. True joy comes from reason, virtue, and self-mastery. The wise person is unshaken by adversity, serene amid chaos, and content with themselves. Seneca emphasizes the divine within us. Our reason and moral compass connect us to something greater. By living in harmony with our nature and cultivating our inner virtues, we align ourselves with the highest potential. Praise the qualities that belong to you alone: courage, wisdom, and integrity, not wealth, status, or possessions. Time is our most precious resource. We often postpone living fully, hoping for a future that may never arrive. Seneca urges us to treat each day as a complete life, balancing our priorities, embracing the present, and letting go of fear for what's to come. Life is uncertain and death inevitable, but it's how we live, not how long, that matters. Finally, Seneca reminds us that superficial pleasures and societal accolades are illusions. True fulfillment comes from meaningful relationships, self-discipline, and living according to reason. By internalizing these principles, we protect ourselves from the chaos of fortune and the traps of desire. So, take one lesson from Seneca and live it today. Face discomfort willingly. Master your desires. Value your time. Trust your reason. In doing so, you don't just read Stoic wisdom. You embody it. Every day becomes a step toward a life of purpose, clarity, and enduring joy. Remember, your life is a fleeting tapestry of moments. Make each one count. Explore within, not just outward. Let Stoic wisdom guide you, and your journey will become your masterpiece.